Welcome to Northern Lights Spiritual Center, a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create lives we want to live. Northern Lights Spiritual Center offers practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. My name is Reverend Amaré, and I am here today with Reverend Mykal Amaré, who is our speaker. We also have on the call, on the Zoom and on Facebook, Reverend Pamela Grace Beatty, who is the one who founded and got Northern Lights Spiritual Center started. We at Northern Lights Spiritual Center acknowledge our presence here on the traditional and unceded ancestral lands of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish and Salish peoples. These people are still here, and we join with them in how they continue to honor and bring to light their ancient heritages. We seek to resist the erasure of Indigenous histories as we work towards honoring and inviting the truth. Please join me in our opening song in this very room, or be sung too if you don't want to sing along. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room. So, meditation. I'm going to invite people to participate in a meditation. So, to do that, I invite us to just center and get still. Settle into wherever it is that we are standing or sitting. And become aware of our breath. Breathing in, letting our chests fill, and then breathing out slowly. And breathing in again. And letting the air go. And breathe in once again. And breathing out. And with the meditation this morning, I'm going to recite a mantra. And invite us to imagine a series of people. So as we start, I want us to imagine someone that we just adore, someone that when we think of them, they can't help but lead us to smile. They can't help but inspire us. And as we consider that person, I say these words: just like me, you are seeking some happiness in your life. Just like me, you are seeking to avoid suffering in your life. Just like me, you have known sadness. Just like me, you want to be loved. Just like me, you were once an innocent child. Just like me, you are on a spiritual journey. So again, imagine that inspirational person Imagine making eye contact with them if that's something that's comfortable for you. Or imagine just bowing to them if they're somebody that is that noble, that worthy. Just like me, you are seeking some happiness in your life. Just like me, you are trying to avoid suffering in your life. Just like me, you have known sadness. Just like me, you want to be loved. Just like me, you were once an innocent child. Just like me, you are a spirit on a journey. Now let us imagine ourselves encountering someone that we've never met before. Maybe it's a cashier at a store. Maybe it's the person on the other end of a call who's calling us out of the blue. Just like me, you are seeking happiness in your life. Just like me, you are trying to avoid suffering in your life. Just like me, you have known suffering. Just like me, you want to be loved. Just like me, you were once an innocent child. Just like me, you are a spirit on a journey. And seeing that person more fully, you again say, just like me, you are seeking some happiness in your life. Just like me, you are trying to avoid suffering in your life. Just like me, you have known sadness. Just like me, you want to be loved. Just like me, you were once an innocent child. Just like me, a spirit on a journey. Now in the meditation, let yourself envision somebody that annoys you, somebody who just rankles you or gets under your skin. And just imagine sitting with them, saying, just like me, you are seeking some happiness in your life. Just like me, you are trying to avoid suffering in your life. Just like me, you have known sadness. Just like me, you want to be loved. Just like me, you were once an innocent child. Just like me, you are a spirit on a journey. And it may be a struggle to be in the presence of this person. But let yourself settle in with that struggle. And remembering the words, just like me, you are seeking some happiness in your life. Just like me, you are trying to avoid suffering in your life. Just like me, you have known sadness. Just like me, you want to be loved. Just like me, you were once an innocent child. Just like me, you are a spirit on a journey. And finally, for the last part of this meditation, just imagine yourself looking at yourself and saying, you are seeking some happiness in your life. You are trying to avoid suffering in your life. You have known sadness. You want to be loved. You were once an innocent child. You are a spirit on a journey. And again, looking into your eyes, perhaps smiling, perhaps a gentle nod. You are seeking some happiness in your life. You are trying to avoid suffering in your life. You have known sadness. You want to be loved. You were once an innocent child. You are a spirit on a journey. sense your place in your journey. Sense whatever obstacles are in front of you. Sense whatever forces or persons or presences uphold you. Lean into that. And leaning into that, just give thanks in this moment for the place where you are. Just be still in this moment on this journey. Breathe in. Breathe. And this time consciously breathe in gratitude. And breathe out welcome. And as you're ready, come back to the room. And I acknowledge Amen, Ashe, and so it is. So I now have a reading. Right, it's a reading.
Anybody waiting? No.
I don't see anybody waiting. So, this is from the internet. Humans really are made of stardust, and a new study proves it. For decades, science popularizers have said humans are made of stardust. And now a new survey of 150,000 stars shows the old cliche is. Humans and their galaxy have about 57% of the same kind of atoms, and the elements that appear in life are more prevalent towards the galaxy's center. The crucial elements of life for Earth: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. For the first time, astronomers have cataloged the abundance of these elements in a huge sample of stars. They used stellar measurements from the Sloan Digital Survey at the Apache Point Observatory Galactic Evolution Experiment, the APOGEE, in New Mexico. APOGEE can peer through the dust in the Milky Way because it uses infrared wavelengths which pass through dust. APOGEE collects light in the near infrared part of the electromagnetic spectrum and disperses it like a spectrum to reveal signatures of different elements in the atmospheres of stars. A fraction of almost 200,000 stars surveyed by APOGEE overlap with the samples of stars targeted by the NASA Kepler mission. The work presented today focuses on 90 Kepler stars which show evidence of hosting rocky planets, which have also been surveyed by APOGEE. Although humans share most elements with the stars, the proportion of these elements differ between stars and humans. For example, humans are about 65% oxygen by mass, whereas oxygen makes up less than 1% of all the elements measured in space. The astronomers evaluated each element's abundance through a method called spectroscopy. Each element emits different wavelengths of light from within a star, and they measured the depth of the dark and bright patches in each star's light spectrum to determine what it's made of. The proportion of each element of life differed depending on the region of the galaxy where it was found. For example, the Sun resides on the outskirts of one of the Milky Way's spiral arms. Stars on the galaxy's outskirts have fewer heavy elements required for life's building blocks, such as oxygen, than those in more central regions of the galaxy. It's a great human interest story that we are now able to map the abundance of all the major elements found in the human body across hundreds of thousands of stars in our Milky Way, the science team chair said. This allows us to place constraints on when and where in our galaxy life had the required elements to evolve, a sort of temporal galactic habitable zone. And so it is. Now, I see our new guests today. Each month, I came up with a chant for the month, and this month is looking at our where it is that we land in the cosmos. I've heard a wave in the oceans contains all that the oceans are. I've learned that what makes up my body comes from the substance of stars. Near and far, I am the universe's glory. I tell the universe's story. I forget when I think I am small, yet the cosmos tells me recall.
That song would go on for about 7 minutes. It's a chant. It's from Melissa Felipe's Second Chance, because she does the words with the lyrics, and then she comes back and does the instrumental for 7 to 9 minutes, and it's very moving if you sit for that whole 7 minutes and just chant that in. And seeing this month's topic for October is cosmic connections, I just want to ask everybody to just be still for a moment and hold in your heart all those that have died, have suffered, have helped in any way people with the COVID virus. So if you could just hold that for a moment. And seeing we have this cosmic connection with all, that's why I wanted to do this. We are all connected whether we like it or not. I mean, Reverend Vaughn was in his meditation, he went through the process and then thinking of someone that totally irritates you, like, fingers on a chalkboard, fingernails on a chalkboard. I don't think he used that terminology, but that's a good one. That's a good form of irritation to me. And the idea that the cosmic connection, that everything is connected, so there isn't a thing really of chance meeting. The idea that people end up in our lives, I don't believe is a chance. Because I believe every person is in our life for a purpose. Whether that's for like a couple of minutes, or if it's for a lifetime. The universe is that complex and interconnected as a spider web. I saw a picture of a spider web on Facebook, and with the mist around it. And if you look at what a spider web and how intricate each and every piece of that web is, that's like life. That's like the universe. We're each one of us are part of that little intricate spider web. Everything that happens affects everything else. It's like the butterfly effect. Everything that happens here affects things elsewhere, and it's this connection that we have in this universe that that causes that. And so, while that can be a little scary, but it can also be inspiring, because it means that everything in our lives is a result of a cosmic connection. And that cosmic connections are those people who come into our lives to help develop us and grow. Because I believe that we learn from everybody that's been in our lives, whether it's how to maybe be more like this person, or maybe you don't want to be like this person. So, I mean, you can look at it either way. Because sometimes we find people in our lives that are that fingernail on a chalkboard. And the best way to look at it is what in that person, what in that person am I like? Is there something that person does that I may do in some way? And so that's the way we can grow, if we look at that and allow ourselves to open up and grow. And cosmic connections are also the people, they are vital to our spiritual progress. Because either whichever way you look at it that way too, either they will help our spiritual growth, or they will maybe force us in a way to become more spiritual, to dig deeper into ourselves, into our spiritual practices, because our spiritual practices is what keeps us going a lot of times. Especially, now when we have to stay home a lot, the spiritual practice is what deepens us and connects us more to the cosmos, to each person in the universe by our spiritual practice. They can also be brought into our lives to disrupt it. And I think disruption a lot of times is good, because sometimes we get in this stagnant way of being, or we get kind of stuck. We're going along and we're in this rut all the way along. Once if they disrupt our lives, if they disrupt, like what in the blazes are you talking about? Or I can't believe you did that, or you said that, or whatever. It kind of jars us, and maybe jars us out of that rut, and makes us look at, okay, really, what is true? What do I believe? I mean, I said a couple of weeks ago that I have to ask that question: what is it that I really believe? And sometimes I think when someone kind of disrupts us and shakes us, then we can also open up to something new. So by that disruption, it can allow us to grow. And so disruption, I don't believe is bad. And also these connections that come into our lives, they may also be here to awaken us to injustice, to slap us in the face, I think, to allow us to see what is going on. I think in the past almost 4 years, there has been an extreme amount of to the injustices that are happening. And as much as we don't like it, I believe that we needed it. That we needed a wake-up call, that we need to see what's going on, to get rid of the blinders. Because sometimes we walk around, or I should say I walk around with blinders on. I don't really see what's going on. And I think we have to take a look and really see what's going on in the world. And they can also encourage us to follow our dreams. Because sometimes we don't believe in our own dreams. We have these dreams, yet we don't really think we can do it. We don't think we can have it because, either you're not good enough, or you don't have enough money, you don't have enough this, yada, yada, yada. Yet you can have this person or these people in your lives that can raise you up and encourage you, that they can hold you up. And that's all part of that cosmic connection. And our cosmic partners, they can also provide us with deep healing to our souls. Because they're there, like I said, to support, to lift up, to raise and praise. And that's what we need, each other. That's why we really need each other. Now, the title of my talk is Are You Are My Reflection. And as in the song, first time I heard that song, I believe, was at a church camp, CSL, we did at CVAC many, many years ago. And Melissa Felipe was the musical guest. And during one of the events, she had us stand up and we formed two circles, one facing out, one facing in. And we rotated slowly, singing this song to each other. And to me, that was one of the most powerful events at the camp. Because as you moved, you're looking at another person in the eyes, and you're seeing that person, you're seeing that reflection of you, that reflection of love, that reflection of joy, the reflection of God looking back at you. And needless to say that, everybody was in tears, because it was extreme. The idea that there is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. But before we could really get into that, the reflection of us in someone else, I believe that we have to learn to know ourselves, to know who we are and who we aren't. And that's where a lot of spiritual practice can come in. Just by meditating, contemplating, okay, who am I? What do I believe? What, and where am I headed? And in that contemplation, yes, you can find out who you are and who you're not. Sometimes we have to go on deeper and deeper, keep going and asking more clarifying questions, because something may come up, and I don't understand. I need information. I need to see more, and whatever that may be, it takes us deeper into ourselves, deeper into knowing ourselves. What motivates us, what gets us up in the morning. I know probably some people don't want to get up in the morning. There's some mornings I would really rather just, hunker in bed and pull the covers over my head. But needless to say, you have to get up. The dog won't let you sleep. So there's always a great way to be with each other, and because it's a small group, and so a lot of times, I know for me, I like small groups because you become more intimate with each other. You can understand each other, and people, and there's that thing that I found out, that there's so many people see something in you, whether it's positive or maybe not so positive, that you don't see in yourself. And that's why that's one of the reasons we meet other people in this universe, knowing that each of us are the reflection of the infinite. The reflection of the infinite self. We can move towards understanding that everyone around us reflects ourselves. I am me, you are you. And also, I am you, and you are me. We're this connected essence, this connected divine love, an expression, whatever that may be, for you in this universe. What if I am me because of you? And that's really true, because other people are influences on us. I mean, people can't change us, but by being in our lives and being who they are, us to develop, to grow, and to become who we are and who we came to be on this earth. So if there was no you, what would I have to compare with? I mean, why would we have names if there was only me here, or if there was only you here? We wouldn't need any of these other things. So we need each other to bounce off of. I like that. I didn't think about that before, but I like it. To bounce off of. Just like a lot of times you need somebody to listen. Just to listen, not to fix, not to do anything else, but just to listen. You need to be heard. And you're bouncing something off. I know a lot of times I will start saying something or asking a question, and before I'm done with the question, it's like the answer has come. But by bouncing it off another person, and that other person being there, listening, truly listening, not trying to jump in and fix, the answers come. I mean, we are changing constantly, moment to moment. We just change because our molecular chemistry changes. And so if that changes, then the rest of us has to change. You may go to sleep one night and maybe you have this dream about God knows what, and in the morning you remember part of it and you say, oh, I never thought of it that way. And just like when someone else will share something with you, and like if you're having a discussion, not an argument, but a nice friendly discussion, healthy discussion, sometimes you won't see it until you've heard it come from somebody else. And it may not change you, but you've opened up to hear something new. And a lot of times it can change you. It can change certain aspects and certain ways that you look at something. If you thought they were totally way out in left field, I know nobody else would ever think that anybody in their life is out in left field. I have. But then once I've heard them and I listened to them and I understand where they're coming from, then we move, we grow in this life. And without others, there would, like I said, there would be no need for other languages. There would be no need for names or things like that. We wouldn't have nothing to compare us. And I think that would be extremely boring, because life sometimes can be boring in itself. So then we work in the idea of the cosmic connection, and that you are my reflection, is that we connect. We stay in tune with our best. Just imagine when you walk out the house, when you do, what are you feeling like? What are your body, what is your body language? How's your facial expression when you're going somewhere? Is it all tight and scrunched in and grouchy and mad, angry? So when you do that, what are people who meet you gonna see? Is that the real you? Is that the true you? So, and that's the practice. You do your spiritual practice, and hopefully you can move through whatever's holding on, whatever's got you all scrunched in there, because we have taken whatever is going on, and with our spiritual practices, like meditation and journaling, for instance, we turn a lot of that over to spirit. We let it go. I mean, we can always pick that back up again, and there are triggers out there that will allow us to say, "Oh, I got to have that back," because the triggers that are around they're very friendly, very happy to set that trigger in motion. So as long as we do that spiritual practice and allow ourselves to be free of the worries and woes, because there's so many things that we hang on to, that we worry about, that in a lot of ways we have no control over. We're allowing it to control us. And then by controlling each of us individually, we take that out and we can pass it on to others. And that can be a hell of a snowball. Or, if we've done our spiritual practice and we're feeling, calm, at ease, at peace, We can do that with others, and that will snowball. So, and this continues with our spiritual practice to connect with, you know, the divine. I know I used to, when I was working down in Auburn, or even Everett, I think Auburn mostly, when I drive to work, a lot of times that was when I would be doing, I would do a treatment, and I would do not meditation while I was driving, of course, but I want to say a conversation with Spirit. And that to me was one of the best ways to do it, because I'm alone in the car. It was 25 miles, so there was a bit of time to do it, and just to connect with Spirit. I mean, some people may look over and see you chatting away, you know, and you know, nowadays they don't know if you're talking on the phone or not, so it's a little less care what other people say. Because in a lot of ways, what other people think is none of my business. And that's a hard one to grab there, that one. But getting back on track about connecting with Spirit, I mean, there's so many different ways you can do that. Like standing in line in the store, there's a lot of things you can do, like Reverend Vaughn and the mantra. You can pick a short mantra, you know, like you're getting, say you getting in line and there's a lot of people, and you get a price checks, got this and that, and then it's you know, standing there longer and longer. You could just, you know, say I am peace, you know, just a short affirmation to connect and to calm your physical and emotional body down. I know in that case I will not change lines. I mean, I've done that before in stores, and I get more, because once I change lines, in that line things happen. So I just say, I stay put, and just stay calm, and just stay, you know. And then there's that connecting with others. And that to me is one of the biggest things. And I've learned this from, a lot of this I learned from Reverend Vaughn, because he's a very outgoing person, and he will talk to pretty much everybody, anybody. He's very, you know, I would say very kind, and that's where I've learned about, you know, when you like you're in a store, and I do this every time now, and you can see, you know, you have the people that are checking you out, and they might seem a little quiet or whatever, and if you just ask, you know, so how's your day? How's it going? You know, and a lot of times somebody, okay, and sometimes you just see, you can kind of see a little uplift. You know, somebody actually asked me, you know, how are you today? And that to me it's a beautiful connection. And also doing, if you're in a store, I've done that too with it's amazing. It's amazing that a couple words to somebody, you can't, sometimes now you can't really see how the reactions are, because we have our mask, so it's a little challenging to see if they're, but you can tell from the eyes a lot of times. I know one of my, I've shared this many times, and that one time I wanted to make connections with as many people as I could, but I didn't want to use a voice. And so I did a walking meditation around Green Lake. And Green Lake is what, about a little over 3 miles, I think. And I vowed that I wasn't going to say a word to a soul going around there. And I would just connect by looking at them. And that was try it sometime. I mean, it is an awesome experience. You're going to get many different reactions. You're going to get some that are kind of a quick look away, because they're not used to that. Then you get some that, you know, they may frown or whatever. But you're going to get those that kind of light up. There's that little light, that little smile, that recognition that I see you as you see me, and that is a beautiful thing, to allow yourself, because you know, words, well, for me anyway, words a lot of times get in the way. Because I know what I want to say in my head, but what comes out is like, oh, what do they call it? Alphabet, what do you call it?
Word salad.
Word salad, okay. Alphabet soup. Yeah, word salad. And when you're looking at someone, when you're connecting with someone through the eyes, through that divine connection, you don't need words. Words are really, inadequate at sometimes. And so by doing that, no matter where you are, you can connect with someone else. And so this week, what I practice, recognizing someone, just eye to eye. Take a chance. Step out and be bold and recognize the God in another person. And like there's that song, I think, looking through the eyes of love. And if you look through the eyes of love, what are you going to, your odds are what you're going to get back is love back. So looking through the eyes of love, you will see that divine essence looking back at you. And it'll lift your day, and you'll lift someone else's day. And sometimes maybe you'll have to go and look at yourself in the mirror and recognize that divine essence that's right there in the mirror looking back at you. Because sometimes we discredit ourselves, we beat ourselves up, so we have to look at ourselves through the eyes of love. Because we are, each of us, that divine expression of God. And so, looking through the eyes of love, I know that each person connected here, whether in the physical or in the virtual, is that divine essence of love. Looking through the eyes of love, I know that each of us in this universe, we are connected. It's that cosmic connection, that connection of the divine love that brings us together, whether we like it or not. And so I give thanks for that divine essence of each of us. Even those who are like that, fingers on a chalkboard. For each of us has a purpose here. Our presence is here. We are here for a reason. Maybe we're here just to irritate someone else. Who knows? I can't say. But I know that happens. And so in this cosmic connection, I give thanks for each and every life. And I'm grounded by saying, and so it is. So it is. And now, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. And those of you on Zoom, if you'd like to hang around and do chat, and those on Facebook too, what we do after the talk is we have feedback from those on Zoom, what they got out of the talk, or prayer request or whatever. So if you'd like to join us on Zoom, feel free, because that's also in the ad on Facebook. So just saying that. And if you'd like to contribute, you can always go to our webpage, which is northernlightspiritualcenter.com, and hit the donate button. And I know we're very grateful for all those who donate, because that is what keeps the lights on, allows us to be here to reach out via the virtual. Being virtual, I guess. Sometimes those words just don't know how to come out right. And it allows us to help send out guys to different areas that we support. And so with that, I give thanks for any donations, all donations, your presence, your gifts of you that have touched Northern Lights in any way, shape, or form. For I give thanks for the blessing that each of you are, that each of us are, to a community, to a sacred space, that if you want to, you can call your spiritual home. And so I give thanks for this and more. And so it is.
So it is.
So, see you next week, same time, same station. Bye.